muted. I'm now not muted. Anyways, it's Wednesday and I'm late. I was really hoping to push for hitting it on the dot at 7:30. But if you guys notice behind me, there's a lot of changes that have gone on back here, even with a sweet LED screen. It's just a monitor. But look at how huge that thing is. Anyways, guys, it is the Geek Saga, and I am so happy to be here. I am your host, Eugene. Unfortunately, David is unable to come in today, but he is up at work. I am up here at the new studio. It's not 100% done, but it is almost done. I got a lot of the stuff. It's going to get shifted. Again, right now, all this over here is still under construction. Even this that you see where that blue light is, it's going to get extended up. But I didn't have a chance to do all that stuff because I had to make sure that the lights, the camera, the freaking microphone, all that was wired up and ready to go. And then on top of that, make sure that all this that you see, except for that, is lit up and looks kind of cool. You know, there's still a frame that needs to go on that right there. And then there's a frame here. More collectibles down here, more lights. So more stuff for right here too, because I didn't have a chance to really fill it out and fill it in. But yeah, I got, look at that. Up top's our nacelle shelf with our wonderful letter that I got from Brian Adams. Not to be confused with the singer Brian Adams, because this is Brian W. Adams. But he was the guy over at Nacelle. It's a marketing guy. He handles all that stuff, and he sent us over the bikes that are up there. I'm missing one figure. Just one. I got to get him. But I got the other two, Throttle, Moto. I'm missing Vinny. So I need to get that one. And then I'm going to actually unbox the bikes so everybody can see what they look like and all the cool features. Haven't done that. But I also got my Max 89 up there with my Season 1 and 2 of the Toys That Made Us. I got all kinds of really cool stuff here. I was really excited to get this unboxed, I guess you could say, and set up. Like I said, there's still more lights to come, more on the bottom to light up that area a little bit better. And also down here, where you see kind of like, I want to call it my tribute to, well, at least one half of it, my tribute to AMC shows that I like, because I've got, oh, she fell. Poor Robin. She's going to give me a problem all day. She doesn't want to stand. Robin, freaking Steve, with my Scoops Ahoy bowl, which you can't see in the screen, which, you know what? She's going to fall. So, I got this thing a while back. I don't know if you can, I can't, no, it doesn't, because there's no auto zoom. So I got this a while back. It is a Scoops Ahoy actual bowl, and I got it in one of those Stranger Things experiences. Comes with a little scooper. Never took it out of the box until now, but you know what? If I can't display it and you actually can't, enjoy and look at it, then what's the point? I know, I'm getting older and I'm starting to understand that. When I was younger, I had to keep everything, but it's really cool. I had gotten that. It's an official thing from them. So that goes right there next to my Walking Dead Lucille beer, which you can see. Yeah, you can see there with Rick right there next to it. So all my turtles on this side, which they're all going to get unboxed. Like I said, I ran out of time. I was really hoping to get more stuff done, but it is what it is. But I'm here in the studio. So this would be Artax Studios, where we will be producing the Geek Saga and actually a bunch of other shows. So I'm really excited about that too, because this stuff is all modular. We can move it around. We can turn it out, change up the lighting, change up everything. So it's been a lot of work, and but I've been having fun with it. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah. But still getting a lot of the great noises outside. And anyways, welcome to the show. Just going to say, yes, I know I'm late. Forgive me. I'm going to sit through a couple of things before we get to that story. So anyways, guys, it's been a while since I've been able to be here. Been a lot of work going on. I'm finally, as happy to say over there's the trash. Dude, I got a pile of trash I gotta throw out. But I'm finally happy to say that I'm actually going to take a break from work and actually start focusing in on this for the rest of this month. And then next month, we've got a lot of things going on. So anyways, without further ado, let's hit some of our affiliates that we are associated with. And I have to do two things. I'm going to do 1 and 2. Isn't 1 better or 2? 1, 2. Anyways, yes, I know it's retarded. But Ulanzi is a great company. They actually do have a lot of great lights that we use. And I did keep these out because I wanted to show some of the lights, and they're not charged right now, which I should have charged them. But I do purchase a lot of their stuff. The camera rig that's actually on my camera right now is Ulanzi. So these lights, the lights up top, those are Ulanzi. Lights that you're seeing in the corner, Ulanzi lights also. So we got a lot of Ulanzi products. If we didn't trust their products, we would not talk about them. We would not affiliate with them because, guys, we don't want to give you guys junk. So click on the link that's in the bio. Check them out. They've got a lot of great products, and they always have great sales. They just had a Mother's Day sale. Even if you're not a mother, you could have, purchased stuff from them. But anyways, check them out. The link's in the bio. Click on it. When you purchase from them, it helps us out. Next, we've got Renegade Game Studios. Let's move this like that. No, it's not great. Maybe like that. Nah, that's close enough. Good enough. I have to adjust this. But Renegade Game Studios, which is a great company, which over here, if you see, that's a deck builder that's from Renegade Game Studios. It's Transformers. They've got a lot of great other games. If you enjoy RPGs and you know how to play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, check them out. They've got Transformers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, and a ton of other IPs that you can actually play, and also originals too. Check them out. They're great games. Click on the link that's in the bio. Sends you straight to them. Purchase from them. Helps us out, which we always say. Next, we've got Legendary Sups, which I do have a shelf. Randy, if you're watching, I have a whole shelf dedicated to you now. Not to you, but to your product. Guys, we love this stuff. Kraken is a great product. We drink it when we want to get focused. It is a focus drink. It's not an energy drink. It's got about a cup of caffeine, about the same amount of caffeine that's in a cup of coffee. There we go. That's better. And it helps you focus. I have used it. I've used it actually on the range when I've gone out there to shoot, and it's helped me, focus a little bit better. Also, David, who's not on right now, actually has used it when he plays video games, and he says it does help. So, guys, if you're looking for something that has great flavor like Blizzard Mojito, Kickin' Mango Peach, or Mallow Melon and Puckin Sour Grape, these are the guys to go to. Check them out. Use the code GeekSaga77 to get 10% off your first purchase. Click on the link in our bio. Also, it'll send you right over there. Or you can just look them up at Legendary Supplements. Next, we got Movo, which is the microphone that you're hearing me on right here. The microphones that I use wherever I go. Great microphones from Movo. Great products from Movo. Again, we didn't use them. If we didn't like them, we ain't talking about them. But I am. I'm using the U300 right now. It's a great microphone, and I've been using this thing for a while. All the microphones that we use when we go to cons, they're all Movo mics. Guys, check them out. They've always got great sales going on. If you're just starting out as a podcaster, as a vlogger, as whatever you want to be doing, these guys are a great company to check out because they've got a lot of great products at great prices for you to start with. So check them out. Click the link on the bio, sends you right over to them, purchase from them, and there you go. Next, we've got, and finally, I swear, if I can find my mouse, I hate when that happens. There it is somewhere around here. There we go. That's what happens when you're using multiple screens. Sometimes you lose your mouse. Actually, that is it. Let's take us back to that big shot so you can see everything that's going on in this screen again. Boom. There it is. All right, guys. So that is it for our affiliates. That is it for that. But we definitely want to get into our stories for today, our news stories, because we got a couple of great news stories, and also something that's new to us, I would say. We're talking about talking a little bit about music today. I know it's a rare thing for me to do, but I wanted to do that today because there was a story that came up in Rolling Stones of all places, and I was like, oh shoot, they're talking about this. Plus, it's because I like this group. They're actually really good. So, without further ado, now that I'm done babbling, and I did that for a reason, let's get into some. All right, guys, we're kicking it off with Captain Planet. If you look at him, he's got a new look. I guess he's buying into the whole beard thing, just like everybody else is doing. But Captain Planet is rebooting and soars with fresh take in issue #1. So, guys, if you didn't know, they were actually coming out with a new Captain Planet comic book. I didn't know it. Well, I'd seen something about it, and I thought, nah, this can't be real. They can't really be coming out with a new Captain Planet. And not only that, but a Captain Planet with a beard? Really? So, if you are watching this on the screen, you can see on one side you've got Captain Planet that I remember right there with no beard. And of course, all those kids, and the most useless of them all is that little kid from India that. What was he good for? Heart. Really? That's your move? Heart? Anyways, on the other side, what you see is the new Captain Planet. He's got shoulder pads, he's got a beard, and he's got a new take on how he finds the kids. And apparently these kids are, they've got like careers. They've grown up. But it's all starting over again. Anyways, so, with the reboot booming, as far as Marvel's Ultimate Universe, DC's Absolute Universe, which those are some great comics. I did go out and I took the advice of our guest from last week, Adam Rose, and I took a look at some of the Absolutes, and dude, they're actually doing it right. I can't help it. And then also Power Rangers Prime, they've got a lot of great things. Now Captain Planet is joining in with this new comic, and it's from David, I'm gonna butcher your name, Pepose, yeah, and artist Iman Casillo, butchered that one too. It's okay, we're gonna move on. And it is so the premise is kind of familiar. You still got the 5 rings, the 5 elements: earth, wind, and fire, and water, and heart. Why heart? What do we need for that for? Anyways, Gaia is still there. She's been kidnapped, but this time to summon Captain Planet. They still have that. But Gaia's been kidnapped this time, and the rings are scattered across the globe. So the other story that we remember as kids was the kids were chosen by Gaia, brought together, given the rings, and they summoned Captain Planet. Heart. Anyways, this time around, Gaia's been kidnapped. The rings are scattered, and the kids are living like wildly in different lives, separately. So we've got Gia, which was the, I think that was the Asian girl. I'm gonna probably get hate for all this, so I'm gonna whatever. But there's Gia, is a scientist. Linka is that blonde. She's a punk rock revolutionary. I don't know what that means. Wheeler's a firefighter, which makes sense. He's a fire guy, but even then, firefighter really. And that's just to say just a few of them. The other ones will still be coming in, and of course you still got Earth. You still got Heart. I'm not gonna let it go. So anyways, each role reflects their element's power and their unique approach to protecting the planet. So Wheeler's a firefighter. Go figure. And he's the fire dude. That doesn't make sense, really, because why would he be shooting out fire then if he's going to put... So anyways, yeah, they're still talking like huge elemento battles, from lightning strikes to ice walls. All that's still in the Captain Planet theme. if you guys are looking for this and are wanting to try to feel nostalgic of Captain Planet, Homeboy's armored up and he's got a thick green beard. You won't get too much nostalgia from this one. But if you guys are interested, if you got kids that are like, oh, cool, this might be something they want, check it out. Captain Planet, the dude from Africa, Kawami? Kawami. I'm going to go with Kawami. He's got a green hoodie on, whereas the other one had a red vest, and Linka's rocking a full punk rock vibe, which I guess she's wearing a leather jacket. I don't know what they mean by punk rock vibe, whatever. So, most importantly, it's not a dark, edgy, like some of these other reboots that have been coming out. It's a little darker, a little edgier, which that was what we were seeing when the comics were being brought back again, like in the 90s. We're seeing more of an edgier feel to them, but this one's still not. It respects the heart of the original show. So check it out. If you guys really want to, check it out. I mean, it's Captain Planet. I like the song. The theme song is running through my head. Captain Planet, he's a hero. But yeah, you can check it out. It's in stores now. Check them out. Comic book number 1, 2 is coming out really soon. Anyways, moving on. So I know some people want me to move on to the next story, but it's not the story we're waiting for. Anyways, Nintendo president says the Switch's lower than expectation sales forecast due to high price, not U.S. tariffs. Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of following the story of the Switch 2, waiting for it to come out, and Nintendo predicts 15 million Switch units sold during the first fiscal year. So, from March of 2025 to March 2026. So they're saying that it's not because of the tariffs, but because of the high price, which is something that I think me and David have been talking about for a while. And look, President Satoru Furukawa, probably butchered your last name, but I got your first name. Anyways, you're saying it's not because of tariffs, it's because of higher prices. Well, because of the higher prices, somebody like me can't pick it up yet. I got to go on a deployment in order to get the money to be able to get the Switch, because that's how I got my first Switch. So we kept it at the lower price, and I get it. Better graphics, or at least better screens, all these other little upgrades that you've done to it, it's going to cost a little bit more to make these things. But there's a but to everything. I got one, you got one. So anyways, yeah, it's a little hard, especially right now with all the prices going up, to actually get out there and purchase a Switch 2. Would I love to get one? Yes, I would. Because one of the selling points for this I saw was it's backwards compatibility. Compatibility is a key selling point. So we're able to play Switch 1 games along with the Switch 2 games. And then, of course, all the other stuff that we're able to download from the Nintendo store and all that stuff. It's great. But, sir, it's still a little pricey for some of us regular folk. So, the Nintendo plans to bundle popular titles with the console to encourage quicker adoption of the system. Well, again, that's great. You guys wanted to do all this stuff, but it's still the price. I get there's no issues with production. You guys are pumping them out. You're predicting 15 million. I don't think you're going to sell that many. If you do, that's great. But it might not be in the U.S. At least not in the first year. We're going to wait until we got that extra cash to be able to do that. So, manufacturers that aims to exceed the 15 million sales forecast with flexible production. Great. But Switch 2. They're predicting a lot of stuff. So with the new Switch 2, they're going to exclude the Mario Kart World game. You're going to have to purchase that separately. So it is what it is. Guys, what it comes down to, again, it is the price. I hate to say it. I want one. I really would want one. But I'm going to have to wait. So, again, tariffs are not affecting it. It did in the beginning because when we were waiting for that pre-sale thing to hit. Then you guys kind of quietly, and it's now pre-sale. So, I'm going to say wait. This thing will become something that's obviously going to be hot during Christmas time. Right now, global launch is going to be June 5th of this year, and we'll just see what happens. I guess they're setting realistic expectations for the Switch 2 launch, but they're also betting big on software bundles. Nostalgia and third-party support to push the system. The higher price is definitely going to slow things down. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But it's a story we've been following because both me and David are big Switch fans. We both have them. And yeah. Anyways, moving on to our last story, which I know there's some people that are waiting for this story. I don't know who, but I guess, I should have got there. That's a better look. I guess I should have gotten to this sooner, but maybe I'll just wait. All right, I'll move on to the next story. Guys, if you don't know about this band, but what's the deal with Sleep Token? You guys don't know who Sleep Token is? I didn't know who Sleep Token was until recently. And since I've actually listened to them, holy crap. They're actually really, really good. And I really wish I would have known about them a lot sooner because the latest album that dropped is Even Arcadia. And waited till 9 o'clock that night. Almost forgot about it. But I was reminded, and I sat there while I was reading my book, Dungeon Crawler Carl, and listened to the whole album. And what's a sleep token? A sleep token is a pill that you take when you go. James, I'm trying to explain who Sleep Token is. Gosh. So, since 2016, Sleep Token has stayed masked and unnamed. Their frontman's Vessel, the bandmate, literally two. They're the ones that write most of the music, and there's a lot of theories about them. What's really cool about this band is that they've literally built lore around everything about them. And that's, if you're one of those, that's a huge, an arcade token. James, I will give you their address to somebody, and they will come up there and beat you because you're talking crap about Sleep Token. Not me. Oh, no, not me. Somebody else. But anyways, they're a progressive band. They gender bend, or genre, genre bending. Not gender, genre bending. Metal and part metalcore, part R&B, part gosh, I'm blowing this whole thing. Synthetic, soul searching, symphonic. That's the word, symphonic. Got it. I swear, I'm good. I'm not having a stroke. I don't smell toast. Let me drink some Dr. Pepper. It'll help me right now. Yeah. Part symphonic, soul searching. Guys, if you listen to their music, it is great. All their albums I've gone through, and I've actually, as I'm building all this stuff, doing all this in here, Even while I'm at work and I'm reading stuff or in the shack, I've been listening to their music. And they've got a lot of like Easter eggs hidden within their songs that deal with all their lore. And they also have a graphic novel, which is actually sold out. So sorry, but it looks pretty cool from what the pictures I've seen. And I lost my mouse again, so I can scroll down. Oh, it's behind me. Now it's over here. Like I said, multiple screens. So in their most ambitious album yet, which I know I'm going to get some hate right now, there is one song that I wasn't too keen on. It's the one with the saxophone playing towards the end. It throws me out of the whole feel of it. It took me into Thunderdome more feel. And if you don't know what Thunderdome is, that's Mad Max. And when you see the blind fat dude, Asian dude, playing the saxophone, that's where I kind of took me at. Sorry, it just did. But the rest of the album is amazing. So album number 4 doesn't remove, they still haven't removed the mask, but it does peel back emotional layers. An opening track, Look Windward, which is amazing. It is a great way to start. Is chaotic, and then then it's smooth. It's smooth, and then goes chaotic. It's hard to explain, like Sleep Token, but it is a great band. If you got to go and listen to them. Their concerts right now are completely sold out. Completely. Trust me, I've looked. And but the cool thing about these guys is like if you see the picture that's on screen right now, that is Vessel, and not to confuse it with Vessel like bread with egg on it, but Vessel right there on screen. That's how he's dressed up. I've seen videos of them on YouTube from their concerts. Their concerts look amazing. It's a lot of lighting. It's a lot of like thought put into how this whole concert goes off. Guys, definitely check them out. So Emergence leaps between metal, jazz, and is that the one that I keep talking about? Yes. There's a sax. It's Emergence. It's in my notes too. That's the one that I put down. All right. But yeah, so Provider sounds like a wedding vow at war with itself, a full contradiction of love and chaos. This is what I've gotten out of my search and articles that I've actually put this whole thing together. Carmel explores fame, anonymity, and performing behind the mask. Like, people dig deep into like the songs. Like after this album dropped, probably the next day, people are already putting up what this song may be and what Vessel's trying to say. And if you watch the videos that are up on Instagram or on YouTube, like of their music, and it just shows like a banner's burning and stuff, like at the very end, there's flashes. If you freeze frame it, it's stuff that's going on to the temple. And that's on each one. It's really cool. That's what I was like, oh crap, look at that. Trying really hard to stop it. But it was fun. It was really cool. And then I go and there's others. But Vessel's voice is soulful, tortured, expressive. Whether he's crooning over shimmering synths or wailing above distorted guitars, there is sincerity that anchors the album's experience. Experimentation. One of my favorites, my truly favorites from this particular album, Damocles. If you guys don't know what Damocles is, it's a sword. The sword of Damocles was something that was held over the head of, I think it was a Greek myth. If you're a huge Dresden Files or Dresden fan, they talk a lot about the sword of Damocles and that he had that hanging over his head. It was going to kill him. But this band is an amazing band. Guys, look them up. Sleep Token is definitely something to listen to. And James, I totally haven't seen anything else that you said. So a Token White Guy. Yes, a Token White Guy. That's what it is. Sorry. Get back to it. All right, guys. Look, I'm babbling on a lot about this band because this is a great band, and it was really cool to see an article put out about them, and them getting their, like, I guess they're up. I don't know what to. They're getting the attention now in something like mainstream, like Rolling Stone, which is really cool to see. Full on article all about them, and especially because this new album just dropped. Um, but Sleep Tokens, even in Arcadia, isn't just an album. It's a journey through the psyche of a hidden soul searching for peace in a loud digital world. Wow, these guys are good. Equal parts beauty and brutality. It's prog metal for the modern mythic. If you're into emotional epics with sonic left turns, give it a spin. Check it out. I don't know why I give it a spin. We don't use albums anymore, but I know that there's somebody out there that listens to these albums quite a bit and gets a lot out of them. I'm almost there. I'm getting there. So there you go, guys. I know that was the one that everybody was waiting for. So check them out, Sleep Token. Guys, that is what else? They're comeuppance. There we go. That's what I was looking for. They're comeuppance. Yes. Thank you, James. This is for you, buddy. Yeah. So, anyways, with that, we are going to be moving out of this segment, and we're going to move into the next segment after that, which is... So, did I do it justice? Hope I did. I hope I did that one justice. I really did. Dude. Let me get the next segment up and running. So, guys, tell me, what do you guys think of all that's going on behind me? You guys like it? Nay? Is there anything I could change? I know I'm going to add more stuff over here. There's more stuff to come. Like I said, there's going to be lights that are going to be shining here and behind. More stuff on this side. Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. It definitely is. What you guys can't see is like the detail that's here. You kind of see the detail that's over here, stuff that I put together already. Same thing down here. This thing's actually going to be framed out. But, all right. Anywho, yeah, let's see what I've done my part. So that's it, James. You've done your part, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to move on. God, talk to me, man. I'm all alone. All alone. Anyways, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is what I like a lot because it takes me down nostalgia lane. This is a segment that we do, and it used to be us going back to like movies from past or TV shows. We're now changing it up a little bit because we blew through a lot of it in the first 2 years. Now we're into the third year. So now what we're doing is we're kind of finding either a list of things or movies that we can dig a little bit deeper in. But in this segment, we call... This Week in Geek History. So, remember these? 15 toys, 15 forgotten 80s toys. Let's get this up because this is what I should be looking at while I do this. I was too excited about this segment. So, all right. So, you got it here. Here we go. I'm now slowly. All right. There it is. God. All right. Fellow 80s kids, and those of you that are not 80s kids, you might remember some of these things. Grab your fruit roll-ups and blow off the dust off that toy chest. We're diving deep into those forgotten toy aisles of yesteryear with 15 classic 80s toys you probably played with and maybe totally forgot. So we're going to kick it off with our first one, which is Army Ants. Guys, if you don't remember these toys, if you never saw these toys, these were actually really cool. So they're tiny rubbery soldiers in bug form. They were loaded with like tanks and flamethrowers, and when you look at their face, they had a little attitude to it. So you had either a squad or a swarm. So they sold them in obviously these little packs that you see right there on screen in 3s or 6. So the 3 were squads and the 6 were swarms. But you had the blues and you had the reds. And if you look right there, I mean, look, these things were tiny. Oh, no, I blew that. Okay. There we go. These things were actually tiny. They were really cool to play with, though. And, you know, for, I think it was like $3, you got a whole swarm. And that was 6. And if you had the reds and then your friend had the blues, you guys are playing. If you had to play by yourself, because you didn't have any friends, sorry. But that was how you can determine between the two armies. You had the blue army, which actually I was more fond of the blues. I don't know why, than I was of the reds. But they were really cool toys. I don't know why you would. These are. I mean, I get it. There's only so much you can do with the ants. There's only so many poses, and there's only so many ways to do it. But they were really cool when they first came out. Had a lot of fun with them. And yeah, that's one of the toys. Number 2, we have Boglins. Boglins were really just, they were weird. Like, in 80s, we had some weird toys. You had these ones, and I'm sorry to Brian over at Nacelle. Insectoids were really weird looking also, but had that cool feature of you can put your hand in the what do you call it? Like flying ant or whatever bug, and it was a puppet, but it was also the thing that your insectoid would actually ride on. Cool feature. Boglins were kind of the same thing. They're little puppets. They were weird looking. They had crazy cool packaging, which was that cage right there, but it was a puppet. You put your hand in there, and they were squishy. They were really cool. So the smaller ones, they had smaller ones. Those ones, like there was no real feature except for it was the fact that they were a puppet. The bigger ones that you can purchase actually had eyes that would move. So you were able to control the eyes that were inside and also be able to make its mouth move. They were really cool. The packaging, it was cardboard crates, like an illegal pet from a swamp dimension. But the cool thing was they had those plastic bars on the front, so it looked like it was, obviously something dangerous. But they did have a resurgence of these things. I believe it was like 5 years ago. So the creator went and did I think it was a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe. I think it was a crowdfund, and actually got the money to be able to recreate these things and actually still sell them. So you can still find these things on Amazon right now, not just eBay, but actually on Amazon. They were cool little toys. I liked them. I had one. I was kind of a bum because I really wanted them all, but couldn't get them all. Couldn't have everything when I was a kid. Could I? Could have. Next, we got something that, if you're a dude, you probably weren't playing with. If you're a girl back in the 80s, you might remember these. Keepers. Keepers were in the shape of adorable animals. They're containers with hidden compartments for your treasures. What I hear is that as they got older, keepers were still in people's bedrooms, but were hiding other things. Oh, Mom, I really like my keeper. I don't want to throw that away. What's inside of it? Oh, nothing. And I noticed that as I was going through and researching a lot of this stuff, and I looked at the keepers, and then I was like, I wonder if there's anything like and I can't remember if there was anything for boys. Kind of like this, where you had a little key and you open up the compartment and you throw stuff in there. So I remember like keepers were something. There's My Secret Diary. There was like all kinds of stuff for girls. But when it came to guys, we didn't get anything. It's like can't hide anything away. Couldn't lock anything up. It's just there. We didn't care. What did girls have that they had to lock up and hide at that young age? But yeah, they had tiny key-shaped friends called finders, and actual keys to lock them up. So right there's a little finder. Oops, again, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry. Right there you see is that little jacked up looking rabbit thing. That's a finder. They had finders and they had their keys. They had all kinds of crazy shapes, and the packaging is right there. So, keepers, if you remember them, then you are hiding something. If you don't, good for you. Next, we got Mad Balls. Mad Balls is actually really cool. I had a couple of these things. So they sucked. They kind of sucked if you're trying to actually play baseball with it. Never recommend it because look at those weird shapes. They were the coolest things to play catch with, except for that football. That football freaking hurt if you got hit with that thing. I mean, that was plastic. That hurt. But these were really cool balls. They're grotesque rubber balls with horror-inspired faces. I had Screaming Meanie. That's the baseball one right there. Which one? What else did I have? I had him, and I think I had the skull. But during the 80s, we had a lot of gross out like type of toys. I don't know why. I mean, we had freaking Mad Balls. We had Garbage Pail Kids, which I collected them all. I had, oh my God, the whole first series. Then they got banned from school. We couldn't take them back to school anymore. I still had them. Shoot, I was still collecting. I traded Transformers for freaking Garbage Pail Kids that I was missing. That's how serious I was. But they're saying that this is great for indoor dodgeball. Hell no. Getting hit with one of these things freaking hurt. This was like, yeah, no. My mom was the one that bought me this and says that your parents probably hated them. Yeah, she didn't care. It was something that I liked. She got them. But the crazy thing about this, it wasn't just the balls that they made. They also made figures, if you look right there on the screen, that popped their heads off. But they were still Mad Balls. They also had a cartoon for Mad Balls. Of all things, like, what the heck? I never watched it. That's a weird thing. I've never seen the cartoon. Knew it was around, but it never interested me. I was just interested in the toy itself, and they were really cool balls. Next, we got Pillow People. Not to get them confused with the pillows that are being put out now that people use. Gross. But these things were actual toys that kids actually wanted. My cousin actually had, I think she had, I want to say it was not the window, why would you have a window? A window, a door? I don't get that. I think it was like the little cheerleader one. Yeah. But these things were big during the 80s. They had arms, they had legs, they were happy cartoon faces, designed for cuddle, but also worked great as a practical. It worked great as a projectile during sleepovers because you had not only the pillow that's flying, but you got those legs and those arms to be able to tumble and smack somebody. You just, sorry. I'm all right now. A little traumatized from back in the day. But I never had a pillow people. My cousin did have a pillow people. And she would carry that thing around the house. And whenever we went down, because we did live together, Mexican family, happens. She would have that on the couch when we were watching our Saturday morning cartoons, which were always great. But, anyways, moving on to the next thing we've got. Oh, and if anybody wants to chime in and tell me they had any of these toys, let me know. Tell me your experience with the toy. I'd love to hear about it. Wuzzles. See, now, I remember mentioning Wuzzles to people before, and they're like, what? And I was like, yeah. It was like a bear bumblebee and a freaking like hippo rabbit butterfly thing. I don't know what. I couldn't remember what they were called, but I remember the cartoon. This was a Disney cartoon that came out. It was also a toy. They had the plush toys, and then they had those little posable, as you can see down below, vinyl figures. Wuzzles were everywhere during the 80s, and that's what just shocks the hell out of me, that people don't remember them. Because there were coloring books. Just like anything else during the 80s, you had coloring books, stickers, board games. That what the heck did you do as a Wuzzle? God, what else was there? There were sleeping bags, there were pillows, like blankets, the whole gamut. Just like everything else during the 80s, that's what we got. We got all kinds of like stuff to go along with whatever toy that we had. So Wuzzles was a real thing. Wuzzles was. Sure. So why not? I mean, it was the 80s, and hippo, butterfly, rabbit, lion, bumblebee. Yeah. I'm telling you, during the 80s, I don't know if these guys that were making these cartoons were on crack or acid or what. But we got some trippy toys. But we also had gotten some really cool toys. Next we've got, for this, Barnyard Commandos. Barnyard Commandos were actually really cool. They originally were put out by Playmates. So you had freaking rams, sheep, pigs, and they had like jetpacks and rocket launchers and machine guns and all kinds of crazy stuff attached to them. And it was a crazy time to have toys, because I had a few of these as a kid. Obviously, I don't have them anymore. But the crazy thing is, like, you had two different teams. You were either the Team Ram, Rebel Army of Military Sheep, or you're part of Porks. I don't know what Porks stands for. I didn't see anything. Probably over, I don't know, Porks. So you're either the sheep or the rams, or you were the Porks. So really cool toys. I really liked them back in the day. They went away. They were originally with Playmates. Then somebody had the great idea, let's bring them back. Our good friend over at Nacelle Toys brought them back. Brian Volkweiss had the idea of wanting to bring back some of the old nostalgic toys that he enjoyed. And this was one of them. Freaking Barnyard Commandos. So if you're looking for Barnyard Commandos, here's a commercial for you, Brian. Pop over to Nacelle Toys or Nacelle.com. Check out the toys there. They have Barnyard Commandos. If you go to a con, they're usually at a lot of the cons selling these products. Barnyard Commandos. Back behind me, Biker Mice from Mars was another toy that came out. It was a really cool cartoon, really cool toys back in the day, but now they're even better than before. The articulation of those toys, the different parts that I don't have them out because obviously I can only set up one, but they've got change of heads and all that other stuff. Barnyard Commandos are really cool too. They've got a little bit more articulation. They've got great paintwork done on them. Great toys. Check them out. There's my commercial for Nacelle. Thank you and good night. Anyways, moving on to Photon. Guys, Photon. You guys remember this? So this was the original laser tag game that let you battle friends. Everybody thinks that there was just laser tag and then there was Photon. No. It's actually the other way around. Photon came out first. It was clunkier. If you look right there on the screen, it has a helmet that was attached to the sensor and the gun. So it was a lot clunkier. And but when you put that helmet on, you felt like you were seriously cool, even though like it was huge on your head and you're freaking walking around, it's like bobbling on you. You thought you were the coolest thing in the world. Then Lasertag came out and put this game to rest because they're like, yeah, this is a lot slicker, a lot nicer looking. But what's crazy is that Photon also had figures that went along with the game. So you can shoot at the figures, it'll light up and everything. And they also had a show about Photon, which homeboy right there with his big old head, and it's actually his head in a big old helmet. The thing looks huge. So there's a lot of stuff that went along with Photon, whereas Lasertag didn't have that. Lasertag did end up coming out with a video game. I mean, not a video, a cartoon also, but it was after Photon had put out their live action style like show. So they would always have these cool commercials for both for Photon and for Lasertag, and it's like, man, where are these arenas? I want to play at these arenas. Never had them. Never. What do we have now? Lasertag at a lot of these places that have like mini golf. Why? Why did you have to wait till I grew up? And I can't run in there because I look like a big old moron. Old dude. I've done it before. I can't lie. Got in on the Lasertag and I was like just wrecking kids. I was because I'm taller than the barrier, so I just gotta do it, man. All right, next we're moving on to Battle Beast. These actually were really cool toys. I still have one Battle Beast laying around. I don't even know how I picked it up, but I was digging through my stuff and I was like, oh, this is cool. These things were really cool. They had a bajillion of them. They were tiny armored animal warriors with heat-sensitive power emblems on their chest. That was the thing back in the day. It was like either the hologram, like on the Visionaries staffs, or you have like on Transformers, same thing. They are heat sensitive. So if you wanted to find out if it was Autobot or Decepticon, you had to rub that thing. You had to put your finger on it and heat it up with your body heat, and it'll show the symbol. Same thing with Beast or with the Battle Beast. They had that feature. Crazy thing about Battle Beast was first time you see Battle Beast was in the Japanese Transformer cartoons. They're actually part of the Transformer universe. You guys didn't know that. Now you do. But they had three different emblems, which is fire, wood, and water. So no heart. Heart. Not with Battle Beast. Don't get heart. Sorry. But you did get those emblems, and they were really cool figures. So you had like that lion dude that's on there with a freaking patch on his eye. He was the coolest one. I had like two different versions because they started kind of changing up the colors and then the emblems and all that stuff. So you did get multiples, but they were all like different, either firewood or water. So they had a ton of them. They were great figures, and they came in those packs that you see right there. So it's a 2-pack, and they were cheap. Kid you not, back in the day, like $3. Got you 2 of them. And I was all excited whenever I went to the Toys R Us and got new Battle Beasts. I would dig through the aisle. Moving on to the next one, which is another. Ooh, I wonder where this is. RoboForce. So, short suction cup robots with spring-loaded arms and names like, back in the day, Max Steel. There wasn't much mobility to these. They were they were short, stubby, and you see right there, giant suction cup. Commercials that were put out showed that you just took it and just slap that suction cup anywhere and it'll hold. That was a big feature about them. I mean, the arms were spring loaded and stuff like that. They were really, as a kid, they were kind of cool. I mean, I did have, I had Max Steel, and then I had, I wish I could remember the other one with the freaking dome head. I had him too. I remember that. They did have a few things for them. They had like a vehicle. They had a play set that went along with it. But another commercial for Nacelle. Right up there, I have the new RoboForce because Nacelle just put out a new cartoon. I swear this isn't a commercial just for them. This is actually just by chance that this like list generated this particular toy, and I was all like, "That's funny." But now he's not Max Steel, it's Max 89, and the new cartoon has been put out by Nacelle and $7 Production, which is Brian Volkweiss at Nacelle, and it's what do you call it? Dwayne The Rock Johnson over at $7 Production. They came together, collaborated, and created the new cartoon. You can check it out on Tubi, of all places. And actually, I watched it. It's a great cartoon. They actually did a really good job. I love the theme song to that one. But if you're looking for the new RoboForce, you can actually go to Nacelle and check them out. They have them all there. Or go to Walmart. Same thing with the freaking, Barnyard Commandos. Walmart. Biker Mice from Mars. Walmart. Go check out all these toys. You can get them at Walmart. Don't have to go online. But you can check it out there. But anyways, enough of my commercial for Nacelle. They were really cool little toys back in the day. I did have, like I said, I had 2 of them. I don't know how I got them. I don't remember how I got them, but I knew I had them. So, there we go. There's my other commercial for them. For Nacelle. Next, Zoids. If you guys don't remember Zoids, I do. I had actually a couple of them. They were really cool toys. So, that one that's particularly on screen, I had that one. They had tiny little figures. They were like really small, but they sat in the cockpit, and you could pull these things apart, change them around, and some of them had a wind-up feature, and like the legs would walk, but they were really cool. I guess they were almost like, I want to say like Legos in a sense, but they had wind-up features to them. You needed a flat surface for these things to actually move, otherwise they won't. But once they walked, they kept going. So back in the day was that little like Brontosaurus looking figure there. They moved up to later on in the years that they got bigger. And then recently they've brought them out again, and they've gotten more advanced looking and actually really cool looking. There is anime out there for it. It's a great anime. I watched it. The Liger is a freaking awesome looking thing. So they've got that as a model. Obviously, if you go to those anime shops anywhere, or even go to Frankenstein's, you'll find Zoids there, and they're really cool models. Now they're. I mean, obviously, I should go get one. Dang, now I want one. I want one back there. But like I said, they had a cartoon. They had everything for these things too back in the day. Moving on to Rock Lords. So, as a kid, did you ever dream of transforming a rock into a robot, or hoping to have a robot that could transform into a rock? There you go, Rock Lords. This is the leader, Boulder. We were running out of things back in the day. Creativity was starting to run low after Transformers. These things are actually featured on the GoBots, which, if you guys don't know about the GoBots were the James. I had a Rock Lord. So you had the pleasure of transforming a robot into a rock and a rock into a robot. That was their feature. They transformed into a rock. And so if you forgot about these toys, except for James. So yes, Rock Lords were featured in the GoBots. GoBots did technically come out before the Transformers, but didn't have the backing that the Transformers had. So therefore, the Transformers were the ones that won out in the day. The GoBots were trying anything to try to get people to pay attention to them. They were the Woolberries, or the Woolworths brand Transformers. Just saying. Leader One, I'll give him that. I mean, Leader One was kind of cool because he was I think he was an F-15. Was he an F-15 or? Yeah, he was an F-15 Eagle. So GoBots went for three-quarter figures and made of plastic. They were cheap. That's why we were able to buy a lot of those. But again, the GoBots were trying anything. So they came out with Rock Lords. Sorry. Can't do it. Can't do it. Anyways, yeah. I'm glad this one was forgotten, except for by James. So, Transformers were big, metallic, very tactile when transforming. But they were awesome. You know what? Transformers is still putting out cool things like Gigawatt. This is a DeLorean Transformer. It's actually the DeLorean from Back to the Future. They actually put out a comic book with him having to help Marty out. But even then, Transformers. I just like them better. So anyways, we're moving on from this. Enough of this talk about transforming robots into boulders. Secret War. So the Secret War action figures came out in the 80s. If you guys didn't know about them, yeah, that's crazy. Because like it was Marvel's first attempt at putting out a action figure like this. Mego did put out the bigger figures, and they did have like Spider-Man, Captain America. Who else did Mego? I think Mego put out a Hulk. They had quite a few of them. I can't remember which ones now. But their articulation sucked. It was literally their arms would just go up and down. Their legs would just, this is all you can do. They did come with really cool shields that you can move, and then they actually would change, because that was, again, big feature in the 80s was these changing pictures and and everything. Yes, they did put out the black suit Spider-Man, because it's right there in the picture. They put out the first Wolverine. Sorry. But they had a lot of other playsets that went along with it. Like you can see on the screen, there is a playset for them. There's a big playset that you can actually put all your figures on. But yeah, I mean, these things they came and then they kind of disappeared. And then obviously now we've got freaking Marvel Legends, Marvel figures, and all kinds of crazy stuff. But these were the originals that came out in the 80s that just came and they kind of went. They couldn't compete with Transformers, He-Man. I think Star Wars was still being put out while these things were out. So on top of the Secret Wars, they also had DC's version of their figures, which were superpower things. That's what I was about to say. I did have Superman and I had Batman from the superpower figures, which, if I remember, if you pushed Superman's legs together, he had the punch feature. So I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I had a Superman figure of that. As far as the Secret Wars, I believe, if I remember correctly, I had a Captain America, that particular Captain America, and I think I had a Doc Doom. Yeah, I had those two. And with the the superpower figures, I had Superman and Batman. So they came out at the same time. Yeah. Superman punched, Robin kicked. That's all I remember. Yeah. I think Batman did a twist punch. I think, if I remember correct. But there you go. Next, we have something we've spoken about before in the past, but we're bringing it up again. And you can't read it right there because I was not that bright when I put that lettering up against white. Captain Power and the Soldier of the Future. So this was another one of those that was a really cool, gimmicky toy because you had a show that was put out, which, if I remember correctly, hearing this Captain Power show, which was a live action show, and I did watch it, it aired on KTLA down here in Los Angeles, cost them way too much money to produce because it was live action and they were trying to blend two different things, which was live action and some CGI, which was still in the infant stages. Wow, look at that slogan. Yes, you might have been expecting less suicide. I don't know what that meant. I just grabbed it. I didn't even realize it. I don't know where that came from. But anyways, yeah, so as you're watching the show, you could actually pull out your fighter jet right there and shoot at the screen as the live action show is going. And then if you miss, then obviously it shoots you right out of your ship because you are dead. But it was way ahead of its time, but the tech wasn't quite there yet either. So they had a lot of cool toys that came out on top of not only the jets and the figures, but they had like different like you can buy the little suit to be Captain Power. There's a dude that's like in armor and like camo right there. Put out a gun that had a chain. It was belt fed back in the day. It was a cool toy. Like they put out some cool toys back in the 80s, especially when they were guns. But yeah, this was definitely something that was way ahead of its time and unfortunately died out. But I had some of their stuff. And this was another one of those things where stickers, coloring books, bed sheets, all that stuff, lunch boxes were put out. Because this is what you had during the 80s. You didn't just put out a toy, you put out all kinds of stuff. Finally, we've got My Pet Monster. I always wanted a My Pet Monster. Never got one. But again, it goes in the line of with all the other like gross out, almost horror themed toys of the 80s that we had. My Pet Monster had those fangs hanging out, horns, bug eyes, and he had those handcuffs, which, what is it trying to teach our kids back in the day? You pull his arms apart and they break. And I mean, they're meant to do that. So it's meant to look like he's like breaking out of them. But it was a soft plushie except for his face. So if you're going to swing that bad boy, you were going to wreck somebody's face. Those eyes and that nose, those are hard plastic. I don't know. Maybe I've seen somebody do it. Just saying. But a lot of kids did have these things. They were out at the same time as My Buddy or Kid Sister, which I didn't have a My Buddy either. But I always wanted a My Pet Monster. Again, it's another thing that they put out as a cartoon. They put out as bed sheets and other different things that were going on during that time, coloring books and so on. So they had a lot of stuff going for the 80s and their toys. But seriously, if you didn't have one, your neighbor probably did, and my neighbor did, and I was pretty jealous. But yeah, I mean, hold on, let's do this. So from plush pillows, secret keeping critters, which we don't know what they were really keeping, to barnyard battles and mutant balls. Not that your balls are mutated, but I'm just saying, mutant balls. The 80s were a golden age of weird, wild, and wonderful toys. Even if they've disappeared from store shelves, they still live on in our geeky hearts. And probably somewhere in your parents' attics. Just maybe. So, with that, guys, I'm going to say that is it for All right, guys. Yeah, how'd you guys like that? I mean, seriously, how do you guys like this? There's more to come. This is gonna actually. I was thinking I was gonna have this travel with me to events, but I've already thought of a. I guess you could say like a version of this that I could break down and take to events. So I'm gonna have something like this set up at events when we go. But yeah, I mean, this is what I've been spending my time on when I have it. I guess that is it, guys. Can't think of much else that's going on. We will not have a booth at Pasadena Comic Con because I mean we're a live streaming show. Yes, we can use an iPad to stream and all kinds of other stuff as a mobile thing, but we also wanted to do more inside of a booth. So we needed power, and power is not cheap. Not at all. So we kind of had to bow out for right now, and it happens, guys. But we are still going to be going. I am still going to be there. I will be still going and interviewing a bunch of people that are going to be there. Tons of people are there. I'm freaking excited. I want to go meet Atreyu and ask him how's Artax doing. He's going to be there. So is Sam Jones. Freaking. What side is it up? There it is. Flash Gordon. Oh, you can't see it. There it is. Yeah, you can see it. Flash Gordon's going to be there. Tons of Power Rangers. Tons of voice actors. A lot of stuff's going to be going on. So check it out. That's going to be not this weekend, but the weekend after, which is the 24th at the Pasadena Convention Center. The next weekend after that is Monster Palooza at the Pasadena. Oh, excuse me. Dr. Pepper. At the Pasadena Convention Center also. What else is going on? There's one more event that's going to be going on. I can't remember now. I can't remember. But con season is in full swing, guys. Tons of cons are popping up. A lot that were postponed till now. So we're getting like back to back cons. So if you're one of those that wants to go, if you're a cosplayer that loves dressing up, guys, you've got a lot of opportunities to go and do stuff. Next month, the Valley Blockfest, is it Valley Fest? Or is it Valley Blockfest, I believe it is going to be happening. It was supposed to be this month. It got postponed to next month. It's going to now be in June. That's going to be happening. Keep an eye out on our Instagram. Keep an eye out on We Can Be Heroes Instagram for more details that are coming. We will be there now. So now that it's been shifted, I have that weekend free. We're going to go. So we're going to take the dumbed down version of this and set up down there just for the event and see what we can do. We may be doing a little bit more for that event. I'm going to talk to Julio about that. But check them out. Guys, go to We Can Be Heroes out in Chatsworth anyways, because it's an amazing comic book store. I love going there. That's where I get all my... I know. Cleaning up. I was like, oh my God. I got a short box from Julio there with him. Not that I ride a short bus, I said short box. So, this stack, along with other stacks I was finding in my desk, because I had to put them all into my short box, because I finally got a new one, are all from We Can Be Heroes. I get my comic books from them. They're great. You can check out their live streams that they have on Instagram. They have it on Tuesdays, which is, I think it's Donnie's Doozies. Tonight after our show, they're going live with two guys, one box. They sell comics on there also. Then you got Donnie's Afternoon Delight, which happens on Thursdays. They're always selling comic books online. Wednesdays, you can check out Julio when he's putting out the new comics. And you can also ask him if you can purchase the comics. He'll put it on the side, and then you can go into the store and you can actually go buy it. So check them out, guys. Also, Golden Apple over in Melrose in Hollywood. Been there for 45 years. Check them out. Ryan and Kendra, go in there and tell them I sent you. Tell them that I said hi. It's been a while since I've been in there, but since I'm home now, I'm going to have to take a drive down there. But they're also another awesome comic book store that I go to. Tons of comics, tons of people going there. Been there forever. Check them out. Golden Apple on Melrose in Hollywood. Right across the street from Pink's Hot Dogs. So if you guys want to, go get your comics, and then go get Pink's, or go get Pink's, then go get your comics. You don't want to drop Pink's on your comics. That'd be bad. Let's see, what else? Next month, June. I was hoping June's going to be a busy month for me, but June 13th, head up to Santa Cruz. Guys, if you don't know where Santa Cruz is or what the significance of Santa Cruz is, you're lacking. Watch The Lost Boys. Santa Clara, Santa Cruz. They're going to be having the movie shown out on the beach up there in Santa Cruz. Get up to Santa Cruz, check it out. It's going to be a whole event for them. You said that like last year it was like 2,000 people there to watch the movie. Fans of this movie. Then when you're done, head over to Atlantis Comic Books, which was this comic book that was featured in the movie itself. Owner Joe, super awesome dude. Really loved meeting him. And the rest of the people that work there also was great talking to them. I think it was Nate. But head up there to Santa Cruz, check it out, and that's June 13th. I will be going actually up there. I'm going to be interviewing as many of the fans out there as possible, and hopefully getting that chance to talk to Joe some more on camera while I'm up there. So that's coming up for me also. Trying to think of what else. TurtleCon is coming up. That's another thing that's going to be put on by We Can Be Heroes. Check that out. And that's pretty much it for now. Next week, we've got actually 2 weeks in a row. We're going to have back-to-back cosplayers coming on our show to talk about cosplay and how they create their costumes. So make sure you guys you're back here next week on Wednesday for that, and then the week after that again also for more cosplayers. All right, guys. And I happen to be out of focus. That's the problem with this camera. In focus? Actually, that looks kind of cool. Anyways, I'll fix all this stuff. It's still adjustments that I need to make on this. But guys, if you're looking for us, if you want to find us, if you want to ask us questions, if you're looking to get into podcasting and you think this would be a cool show to be a part of, hit me up. We are looking for new people to be part of our team, not a squad, our team. But you can definitely hit me up on Instagram. Is Cam 4K? No. It's just not autofocus. It's my Sony. But check them out, or check us out. Go onto our Instagram, DM us. If you're interested in doing this, if you're interested in being I guess you can say like a correspondent at events, guys, we're looking for all kinds. We're looking for cosplayers, video gamers, comic book people, movie people. We're looking for anybody. We're also looking for I guess you can say a different opinion, since you always get two crusty old dudes. We're looking for a lady's opinion that can help us out on this show also. So if that might be you, hit us up. Let's talk. Let's see what we can do. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, that's all right. But by all means, go onto our Instagram, DM. But you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok. I haven't posted up in a while, and that's where I need help. Guys, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that can either produce or help with our Instagram or help with all our social media, because it's a lot of work. I have a different opinion of you both, but you are not a girl. Sorry, James. But if you guys are looking for Distance Nerding, you guys can find them Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're also actually heading up to Boise, Idaho for the Gem State Con, which, James, glad I have you on. Remember what we had spoken about. Don't you forget, I want to get a phone call this weekend. FaceTime. FaceTime. Hold on. Scott Patterson, Sean Gunn, from Gilmore, all from Gilmore Girls. I will get you that FaceTime with Sergeant Slaughter if you get me my FaceTime with who I want. Just saying. Please. Anyways, all right. Yeah, you forgot. All right, guys, that is it for me tonight. I'm just babbling on, having fun with this, as always. And I said I was going to be done in an hour. Yeah, I just started talking. But check us out everywhere at the Geek Saga. We'll be back, guys. Same Geek channel. Same Geek time, close to it. Close. But as the saga continues.